Greetings everyone! Fall 2023 has arrived. That means it's time for our first season preview. Summer is gone. I'm happy to have head coach JP Dorn of women's volleyball with us. Coach JP, how was your summer?
Summer was fantastic. It was a great time to be home with family. A lot of recruiting was done and a lot of prep for this fall, so we're excited to be back.
Did your husband keep his national championship trophy
with him at night? He made me shine it every time I walked into the house. Yeah, it was rather annoying, but
that tracks. That tracks. Now it's time for you to go win one of your own. So let's recap a little bit about last year, 23-11. Got off to a pretty good start, a couple hard non-conference tournaments. Got in the season, second half of conference kind of went away, but got to win at least in the GSAC tournament, which hadn't happened in a few years. Of course, the tournament was gone for a few years too, so say la vie. But tell us a little bit about last year.
Yeah, we started off really strong, as you said. We played an extra tournament that we weren't necessarily planning on, but allowed actually for some good experience for some of our youngers to play. And yeah, we kind of got into the middle of the season. I think our loss against Westmont was a hard mental shift for us to get over, and kind of petered out a little bit in the middle. But we have a lot of things that we're kind of protecting against that this year of how we move forward. Losses are going to happen. We just have to learn how to recover quickly from those things. So a big learning curve for us last year, especially being so young.
How was recruiting then, and who did you bring in?
Yeah, so we had a lot return. So we only brought in 3 freshmen this year, Macy, a setter, Kayla and Kylie, a middle, both of them middles. So that one of them are going to be seeing the court for sure. We're thin in our middle right now. With one of them, we have a 4th middle who's been injured. So we're working on getting those girls into the college atmosphere and game as quickly as possible.
Then let's talk about the 15 other returners, and of course Morgan Cole will be the headliner because she led the conference in kills last year as a freshman, but you can't overlook the rest of the team as well. Both setters, Rachel and Maddie DeLucia, are back. Both Natalie Asher as well as Blair Dodge, liberos, who played not equally but pretty close last year, are both back. What does the Lion returners look like? Yeah,
it's been fun to be back in the gym, and especially the aspect of preseason and where is everybody at over summer. We have a lot of battles going on for positions right now, especially in our libero position between Nat and Blair. Our right sides, all 3 of them are working for that spot as well. We see some great things that we've been working on all through spring that we're really starting to see come to fruition. But the thing I'm most excited about, and we talked about as a team, was look, we have such a core young group that moved up this year. So last year was a lot of just kind of learning curve, the college game. There was just a lot of, I keep saying learning curve, but that's really what it was about, getting the experience and things like that, and still doing well, still having our standards and all that. But this year I'm excited to see now kind of that group really having that experience, having our volleyball IQ has been increasing just with some things that we're doing in our defense, and it's really fun to see them kind of working it out and just improving on the mental volleyball side of things and the smart side of things, along with obviously the physical. So
by position then, who do you got where? You don't have to say who's starting it or anything, but out of the entire roster.
Yeah. We have Bailey Olber's back again. She was out all last year for medical, so we're really excited to have her back in the middle, bringing some size back to our middle. Is going to be great. Like I said, one of our freshmen in the middle. We'll have, a lot of the standard crew. Our outsides right now are battling for 2 starters. Morgan and Tori are really kind of building into that position and bringing a lot of dynamic. And the other 2 are right behind them on the heels of just working finesse and being smart in that position. Defensive-wise, we've got some really great defensive ball happening in our gym right now. So I'm really excited to see who kind of beats out that spot for libero. Got a few days to figure that out. So.
And then into the schedule. You once again open with a couple tournaments, starting up in Ashland at the Southern Oregon tournament. Before then, Hope in St. Catherine once again. Who are you playing non-conference-wise to start the year?
Yeah, we're starting with Simpson, and we're gonna be ending with Corbin, just a really tough opponent.
Team that went deep in the NAI tournament last year.
Yes, very much. So we kind of build as we're at that tournament, kind of build on ourselves, just see where we're at, and then we've got to have a quick IQ and really rebound in each set and each match, because the competition kind of continues to get tougher and tougher in that tournament. So it's going to be a really just good tournament to see where we're at, what do we need to improve on, and weaknesses, our strengths. It's going to be pretty fun. So
Then you move into the conference, and the Golden State Athletic Conference, down 2 teams, Westmont off to the NCAA Division II, San Diego Christian not doing athletics this year. That means that, number one, the GSAC tournament will determine the automatic bid to the NAIA National Tournament. So regular season, you want to win it, doesn't matter as much this year. So all seeding for the big dance there at the end of the year. And number 2, that means 4 less conference games. But in the preseason poll, you have been...
We are tied for first.
Look at that.
Yeah, so always good to be at the top. Obviously, we got a lot to do to earn that spot. So it's gonna be a battle in this conference this year. I think everyone's I know the recruiting that other programs have done, and I think with Westmont leaving, everybody sees that as an open door. And so I think we're all after the same things, and it's gonna come down to execution and who's gonna do the work. Who did the work in the spring and summer, and who's gonna do the work in the fall.
You were tied with GSAC. Talk a little bit about them. They played you really tough last year.
Yeah, very good program last year. I know they've lost a few, but they're they've got their right side or outside shoes playing back, and I know how Tiger recruits, so I know he's going to bring in some great athletes. So all I can say is I know it's going to be a battle. I just know they're all going to be battles, and there's nobody to overlook. There's nobody to we're going to be prepared on our offense and defensive situations. I think a lot more this year, and I'm looking forward to this weekend to see kind of how we stack up.
Then to conclude, what are kind of your hopes and expectations here for the season? Only a couple seniors graduating from this team, so there's going to be a lot of continuity between last year to even next year, and maybe one more year beyond that is going to be there. So what are you hoping for here this season?
Yeah, honestly, I see this season as building into our future in D2. A lot of some of the things we're doing with our, defensive things and blocking schemes and stuff, that's all going to play into the future as we continue to get more knowledgeable about the game and smart there. We do have a huge core coming back, and we're bringing in a big core too. So it's going to be, we're trying to compound as the years go on with our level of athleticism and level of smarts and just quality girls. So, we already have that class committed, but we're excited. It builds. From what we do this year, builds into next year. So that's kind of how I'm seeing it.
Well, we're excited. It will be a couple weeks though before we get to see you, but at the end of the month, you have your first couple of home games against La Sierra and Westcliff. Mm-hmm. So we will once again be happy to have you in the gyms. But once again, as well, the Freed Center is still under construction, but progress is coming along nicely. So you'll have to go to VanguardAlliance.com. That's where you'll find out if JP Dorn and her volleyball team are at OCC or Calvary Chapel High School, Costa Mesa, which is across the 405. So, Head Coach JP Dorn, thank you so much for joining us here today. And best of luck on the opening of your season this weekend up in Oregon.
We look forward to seeing you guys out there.